Today, we're going to be talking about gaslighting. It's a term that many of you have heard frequently. It's something that you might tend to hear more frequently coming out of a woman's mouth, referring to her relationship with her man, because we know that men have tendencies to be narcissists and just generally just assholes. And a term gaslighting is what victims oftentimes find in their research whenever they want to try to reestablish dominance, say in a relationship, or if they feel that they're in an abusive relationship. They learn the term gaslighting. Now, the term gaslighting is certainly not one that I'm a fan of, and I really wish that there was another word for it because it's kind of disappointing. It's disappointing for me that people actually use it as an excuse, but we're going to talk about it here, and I'll explain what it is, and then we'll get into some more detail. So I'm just going to read here, what is gaslighting? Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse where a person or group makes someone question their sanity, perception of reality, or memories. People experiencing gaslighting often feel confused, anxious, and unable to trust themselves. Now, examples of gaslighting are countering. This describes a person questioning someone's memories. They may say things such as, "You never remember things accurately," or "Are you sure?" You have a bad memory. Okay? Withholding. When someone withholds, they refuse to engage in a conversation. A person using this technique may pretend not to understand someone so they do not have to respond to them. For example, they might say, "I do not know what you are talking about," or "You are just trying to confuse me." That's the one I use. Trivializing. This occurs when a person belittles or disregards the other person's feelings. They may accuse them of being too sensitive or overreacting when they have a valid concerns and feelings. Okay, so with trivializing, that's what people do to me. Okay, it's very common because I talk about my feelings, and when I do that, people want to trivialize that and tell me the big thing that people say, and a lot of people say this. I hear it at least once a week. They say, "You're just in your feelings." In my feelings, I got the right. They're my feelings, buddy. Don't trivialize me. Denial. Denial involves a person pretending to forget events and how they occurred. They may deny having said and done something or accuse someone of making things up. Diverting. With this technique, a person changes the focus of a discussion and questions the other person's credibility. Instead, for example, they might say, this is just another crazy idea that you get from your friends." Personally, I used to be bad about this one when I was younger, because quite frankly, it's something that happens, from whatever a man or woman standpoint. Sometimes as a husband or whatever, you might feel like your wife is getting some ideas from someone else, outside, girl talk, whatever. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to handle your man. Whereas that third party person may not even know the situation, who you're dealing with, and everyone is dealt with differently. I do not do that anymore. I've grown out of that, and but it's definitely something you still happens. So we just covered diverting, right? Now it's stereotyping. An article in the American Sociological Review states that a person using gaslighting techniques may intentionally use negative stereotypes of a person's gender, race, ethnicity, sexual nationality, or age to manipulate them. For example, they may tell a female that they will think she is irrational or crazy if she seeks help for abuse. This is definitely one that I'm very cognitive of, and it's something that I make sure that try to get out those racial stereotypes. Or here I am making a video and I'm talking about the differences between men and women. That's just the facts. I'm trying to do that for educational benefits, because it's the fact of the matter. We tend to be different. Okay, so look, we explain that, okay? And the reason we're talking about gaslighting is I don't want to tell you, when I make a video for you, I don't want to talk to you about each and every little detail. I'll give you a little rundown on what it is, but this is for informational purposes. I want you to actually do your own research. And the reason we're talking about gaslighting today is because every single day I seek challenges, and these challenges, they normally present themselves in a form of test in the way that someone speaks to me. And we are working on trying to clear up those lines of communications and have assertive forms of communications moving forward, in the understanding that I am not the person that you think I am. Okay? You know, I have grown and evolved throughout my entire life, and I expect the others around me to do the exact same if they're going to be around me. And it's certainly fair to assess situations in the past. But what I find in gaslighting is, first, let's cover the type of gaslighting that I do. Let's be honest here. My gaslighting normally stems from a morning time anxiety. Now, I spent a better portion of my life in a really depressive state, where I always, you know, even as a child and through my 20s and even through my early 30s, you know, I would get in this depressive state and not want to wake up in the morning. And I'd find myself, like, if I didn't have to be at work or something like that, I'd sleep till 9:30, 10:30 in the morning. And that's because I didn't want to get out of bed and face the fears and anxieties of the world, okay? And I found that over the last 3 to 5 years in particular, I've really developed some better sleep habits. And, you know, not drinking alcohol certainly helps. And then, you know, here recently in the last year or so, having a healthier diet really helps aid that and ensure that I can live a healthier lifestyle and have a clear mindset. So, with that being said, you know, I operate differently now. You know, I get up at 6:30 in the morning and I go about my day. Now, on some days, you know, I generally wake up with anxieties for work every morning, and I get up and I go about my morning and I start processing the information and the things that I have to achieve throughout the day. Now, on some days, I wake up and I can be a little bit cranky. You know, if I've got a higher anxiety level, I might tend to wake up and begin gaslighting early in the morning. Now, my forms of gaslighting, and the reason I don't even call it gaslighting, is what it is it's a fact that I have failed. I have failed to perform general functions in setting boundaries for myself and boundaries for others around me. And, you know, we talk about pet peeves and things like that all the time. And one of my pet peeves that's just really bothered me is, you know, is my standard and my boundaries for raising my family and my household, with cleanliness issues and things like that. And just my general concerns about my parenting techniques and styles that I dropped the ball on early on as a parent. And with the cleanliness of the house, I dropped the ball on that early on in my relationship. And, you know, I'm trying to, you know, set a different standard and to clean that up. But generally what happens is, when you've made a mess, and we're not talking about just the actual physical mess at this point, when you're talking about you have made a mess. I have made a mess of a lot of my life. And when you go to clean it up and you go to set those boundaries, those around you aren't willing to accept those boundaries. And oftentimes I find myself gaslighting. I will wake up in the morning and I will have anxiety about all kinds of things. And I will push those anxieties off on other people, and that comes across as gaslighting. If I wake up and I go to make my coffee and I'm like, why is there dishes in the sink and things like that? And people look at me like, where were you 10 years ago? That's what's happening. But here I am, I find myself trying to look for those assertive lines of communication to clear those airwaves up on how we're going to move forward and how people are going to be treated and how we're going to operate, okay? So I work on gaslighting every single day, and I do not use the term gaslighting. If you use the term gaslighting to me, you're coming off aggressive, and I will not hear it, okay? So we work on that, and I'm asking you out there to work on it as well. So what happened to me yesterday, and this is, you know, there's normally a reason for why I come through on a video, a topic on a video. There are some things within this gaslighting video that I've been planning to talk about for a while, primarily diverting, which I call deflecting. There will be a video on deflecting coming. But, one of the situations that happened with me yesterday is I was having a conversation with someone, and that individual, they asked me to behave myself. They asked me to behave myself, and that they were concerned that there was going to be an argument or a fight. For the most part, I believe that I handled the conversation as fair as I possibly could. I got caught off guard. Okay, this come off as aggressive. The reason for the gaslighting video is because it was gaslighting. It was gaslighting a situation that didn't need to be happen. Because oftentimes, and I know the reasons why. You have to understand that I'm aware of my own, self-conscious of my own feelings and the words that come out of my mouth. And also, I am aware of the words that come out of your mouth. Everyone around me, I am conscious about it. So if you're not conscious about what you say and how you communicate, rest assured, I'm like Superman to the rescue. I know exactly what's coming out of your mouth. And the words that came out of your mouth were aggressive. It was aggressive forms of communication. And when you speak to someone like that, you expect that person to come off in an aggressive manner. Now, hopefully you didn't feel like I was aggressive in that manner. And if you do, I'm sorry. I'm working on not doing that, okay? But the sad part for me was the fact that it was said to me because there have been instances in which, people do have to worry about having confrontations with me. And look, if you're watching this video, it doesn't have to be. This isn't just about me. This is about you and other people and how those, when you live in those fears and anxieties of confrontations. And that's why we're making these videos. And what makes me the saddest about situations like this is part of making these videos is so you have a clear understanding of what I'm doing here and how I want to communicate with you moving forward, regardless of what's happened in the past, okay? This is what's happened moving forward. And if you watched my videos and if you watched my Facebook Live, you would understand this and you would know there is no confrontation coming from me, okay? If an assertive conversation feels like confrontation to you, then I'm sorry. You need to figure it out. You need to watch my videos and learn what it means to be assertive and learn the way that I communicate. I will not be trampled on. I will not be spoken to like a child. I am a 41-year-old man who is trying to be better every single day, and I want to communicate assertively and have good, long-lasting relationships. I am building relationships that I have not maintained over the years. I am building relationships that I have broken down over the years. But we will not live in the past. We will not gaslight. We will not be unhealthy. We will move forward as a team. And we will be amazing. Thank you.